Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. We are here with Season 10 and Round 1. Boogity, let's go racing. That's the green flag jobs.
Looking maybe even full wide.
They're fanning out. There's a bit of contact. He's got the outside.
Side tight. That's a great move.
He's got plenty of speed in there, and he's being held up.
He's going to have a better run. Yeah, it's going to stick it on the outside.
Oh, that's a late move. 296 Ferrari, though, finds a space.
He didn't have it.
And we're on the way for SRA.
That is right, everybody. Welcome back to the Sim Racing Alliance GT3 Team Series Championship. This is Season 11 coming at you live from Suzuka. My name is Philip Mueller. I'll be your host for this evening. Joining me on the mic once again is my co-commentator, Donovan Colton. Donovan, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited for tonight. It's hard not to be with Suzuka lined up. I mean, this is a great track, so I'm excited to see what D5 has got for us.
Yeah, this track is a favorite of mine. Really looking forward to it. I want to thank all the returning viewers for joining us back here at Week 3. Welcome any new viewers out there watching live or visiting the VOD after the fact. Be sure to sound off in the chat or the comments. Let us know which driver you're here to support. And of course, please continue to provide feedback on the stream. We made some adjustments to hopefully help the viewing experience and make this show a little bit better every week. Donovan, Suzuka, I don't know about you, but I am super hyped for this race.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, this is also one of my favorite tracks, and it's got, you know, quite a, I mean, it's a pretty high speed track, but it's got a lot of different, you know, types of turns and a lot of complexity to it, you know, with the different sectors. So yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump right into our standings page. Now, for the folks at home, this screen that you're looking at right here might be a little bit confusing. So, for example, let's look at the guy at the top there, Alexander Bermudez Garcia. He won the week 1 race in Barcelona, got himself 110 points, and then he took third last week at Imola, gaining himself another 92 points. So you're saying, hey, how come he only has 110 on the board there? Well, we do drop one race at the end of the season. Your worst result gets taken off the tally. You know, things happen. They try not to hold it against you. Unfortunately, this scene, these numbers don't reflect those drop numbers. So for the folks at home, if you're looking for maybe a full picture of where everybody's finished, I'd recommend going to SRA.gg, checking out the standings page. It'll show you drop races. There's important stuff on there. You know, for example, if somebody missed a race, they have 0 drop points. They don't have as much of a cushion as Mr. Garcia up there, who's got a 92 point cushion. Looking now, second page of individual drivers. Want to bring your attention to those two drivers down in number 46 and 47th place, Clark Gould, Jeff Shepard. They are new. They're joining us from Division 6. They've teamed up in the Ford Mustang. They're the D6 Castaways, and they're my pick going into this race to maybe make a statement. You know, they're not just here to participate. They're here to take over. We got some team standings on the screen. Let's look now at the track map. So Donovan, like you said, this is a pretty tough track. Lots of really high speed stuff, but I found that setting up the car, you know, you really have to kind of find a nice compromise, because there's some low speed stuff too that'll catch you out if your car's not ready for it.
Absolutely, yeah, and you know, definitely, you know, within the S curves, you know, there's a lot of you know, that'll be our complex, you know, turns 3 through 7 basically. Those are definitely a spot, you know, where a car setup, you know, you need your turn in. You need to be careful on things like your throttle and, you know, maybe tapping the brakes, you know, ever so slightly here and there, you know, to get a lot of pace. But you get a lot of pace through there. But yeah, there's definitely a good healthy, you know, different amount of turns here, and yeah, it's just a great track. It's a great racetrack too. There's a lot of different places for, you know, battling, and yeah, so it should be a pretty good time.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of good overtaking opportunities. We should see, hopefully, some really exciting, really clean racing this evening.
Absolutely.
So, jumping in now, our qualifying session has started. We're just driving around on our outlap right now, joining Mr. J.E. May, J. Eric, and I am pleased to present, for the first time in Season 11 Division 5 history, we got some times up on the side of the screen.
There they are, yeah.
There they are.
J.E. May here, not to be confused with J.P. May in the Mustang.
Oh, that's right. There is two of them. Why do they do this to us?
I know, yeah. Well, yeah, J.E. May here. He's from the UK. And
that's right.
Yeah, and he's in the Ferrari. So I'm making sure I remember J.E. May in the Ferrari, J.P. May in the Mustang. So yeah,
it's not just a Mustang; it's that awesome Pokemon livery we saw from last week with that surprise Pikachu on the bumper there. Please don't run that Pikachu into anybody. But there you go, J.E. and J.P. May.
We got a pretty early session for qualifying in game here, 4 o'clock in the morning. So we got some cool temperatures. The track is not going to be at optimum, at least for the start of the qualifying session. But so we'll have some cooler temperatures, some slightly slippier conditions here. Should be interesting.
Yeah, interesting point about the track conditions. You know, it shouldn't take too many laps for the track to go optimum, but that is going to give our gold drivers a pretty big advantage in their qualifying session.
Yeah, for sure. That's so if you're new here and not familiar, we have our silver drivers. They go out for the first 10 minutes, and once that clock counts down to 10 minutes, they gotta finish any laps that they started and get back to the pits, and our gold drivers will then go out and complete their laps.
That's right. So JP May crossing the line, getting off on his first flying lap. Well, heck, while we're at it, let's little track guide. So that first braking zone there that we saw into turn 1, very high speed, requires a lot of stability out of the car. Speaking of stability, sorry, JP May, that's the commentator's curse.
Yeah, a little bit of commentator's curse there. Yeah, and there's maybe a mix of those slippier conditions, and the Mustang is also a bit tricky on its throttle application. So, yeah, and that paired with cooler temperatures and not a optimum track could definitely catch you out.
Yeah, definitely. So that was that first S section, really loads of speed stuff, and it at least in my own practice sessions, this early in the morning on a fast track, it makes it hard to set up the car, to be honest, because it's like I couldn't tell, am I sliding because my setup is bad or just because it's 6 in the morning and the track is freezing cold.
Yeah, I definitely a little bit as well, especially because this is first time for me driving the track in the car I'm driving in. But looks like Thibodeau, he's probably coming up to complete a lap, right?
Yeah, Team Tibbs, this will be the end of his first flying lap. Crossing the line, going up into second place there, as you can see, P2 with a 202.802 first flying lap. Our friend from across the pond driving at 2 in the morning right now, currently on provisional pole. His first lap was a 201.93. If we look at the leaderboard time for everybody's practice sessions, looking at the Division 5 drivers, the best time for this division was a 2 minutes flat .765. So
yeah, that's pretty fast.
That's a hot time. That's a hot time. We'll catch up with the guy who set that during the gold session, but I am still expecting maybe a couple of our silver drivers to get into the 2 minute flats.
Yeah, that would be definitely pretty impressive. So these times, you know, will, especially as the track is going to get faster, and it definitely will, they'll definitely come down a bit. Through Spoon Corner there, that second part of it can be a little tricky to know, you know, it feels like you were waiting and waiting to really get on, you know, the power there, but it's an important one because it comes down to this long straight into this super fast left-hander 130R. This is definitely a tricky corner to get right. You have to be brave.
Yeah, definitely in this final chicane here, coming back down onto the main straight. Kept it nice and tidy. He's got himself a nice little delta on his first lap. He should improve to, oh, what do we got here? 201.7, 201.6, 201.737. There we go. Yeah. Let's jump on board perhaps with our current championship leader, Mr. Alexander Bermudez Garcia. Only set his outlap, hasn't really gotten a good flyer in yet. I'm expecting, once again, good things out of this guy for this race.
This was that driver with the 2-minute flat .7. So yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what he'll be able to do here. Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Surprise, surprise. We've got a dark horse for this race.
Ah, I misread that. Yeah. Yeah, well, so yeah, we'll see what he could do. I mean, this is a fast driver, obviously. I mean, he won the first race. What he got, I believe it was P3 at Imola.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, he's a fast driver. So we'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, fast driver, a really capable car. A little slippery there through 130R, but he kept it together coming down into this final. Right, left, over the curbs. Maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive, but he is way up on his delta, looking to set a very fast, really good first flying lap. Coming across the line, hit himself a 201.985, just half a tenth behind Jay May, still holding on to provisional pole. Coming into our last couple laps for our silvers, I want to jump on board with Mr. Tim Ducharme. Now, I don't know about you, Donovan. I don't know if you believe in the commentator's curse, but there is another thing in our SRA community. We have our coach Jeffries, who provides some kind of extra content. He does the fantasy league. He actually makes gloves. Check out Triple Stint Racing gloves. They're pretty awesome. I use them myself. He does predictions every week. Some people like being picked. Some people call it a curse, but Mr. Tim Ducharme here has been selected by Coach Jeffries as the man to beat in silver. And on this qualifying lap, he is way up on his delta and looking to maybe not go that wide.
A little deep into the chicane, yeah.
But still well up on his delta and
absolutely
looking to project himself well up the standings.
There you go, yeah. P3.
Into third place, okay.
Yeah, and I think he's got some pace still in him for sure here. Yeah, Tim, he's pretty quick, and it looks like he'll get one more shot here to get in a lap. It's tricky. I mean, Suzuka's a tricky track to get in a clean lap. You know, to nail every sector is really quite difficult. You know, it sets up with this first sector. You really have to get your lines right, and some turns are, you know, take a little bit of experimenting in your practice to really find, you know, where you could, you know, get just tiny little time gains here and there. But yeah, it's a hard track to get everything right.
Yeah, coming through Degner 1 and 2 here. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the track limits, but he's just keeping it valid, keeping it in the track. And unfortunately not setting a great delta right now. This will be his final lap. Our provisional pole sitter, Jay May, that you see there on the left, he's got the P next to his name, so he's back in the pits. This is the best time that he's going to set. Bermudez Garcia, though, well up on the delta. coming now into that same kind of area, Degner 1, Degner 2, taking a lot more curb on the exit, maximizing track limits there. Still climbing on the Delta, hoping to see good things out of him. I feel like we have to take a look now at the guy who was right behind him on track. Jay Shepard is his best lap, a 202.6. He's almost a full second up on that on the Delta already, coming out of the hairpin here. He might be about to make a statement on these guys. And again, this is Mr. D6 Castaway himself.
Absolutely, yeah. I love it. I mean, obviously, he's had a good season so far. It's a shame, can't, it's always a bummer, for the drivers who can't carry their points, but I mean, it obviously makes a lot of sense. Ooh, that was pretty wide there. That is a spot. That's one of the spots, for me at least, I tend to have a problem with track limits and invalidating a lap.
Yeah, he did lose a little bit of time on his Delta here, but very strong coming through 130R. Into the final chicane, really abusing those track limits. That was a nice line through there.
Absolutely, yeah, and getting the power down nicely in the Mustang here.
Unfortunately, only about 3.5 tenths up. He definitely lost that big 1 second advantage. Can only do as good as 4th place with a 202.270. Still a great performance from Mr. Jeff Shepard in his Division 5 debut.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and like you said, making a statement too. So, yeah.
So our gold drivers now are out on track, and I would just be remiss if I didn't start with Mr. Divem. I got to get the pronunciation right. I actually asked him in between races, like, hey man, you got to help me out. I'm just a dumb American. I can't pronounce names. Yeah. So Divem Galindo, he is the man who had that top time on the leaderboard. He's the Coach Jeffrey's gold prediction, and hey, if you ask me, he's my projection too. He's a really strong driver, and he thrives on this track.
Absolutely, yeah, and I definitely think that would be a pretty solid prediction, and it would be cool because then we'd be adding a we'll see how things turn out. And I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't want a commentator's curse anything, but it would be fun to get as many different winners as we could get in this D5 championship. And yeah, he hasn't won a race yet, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to see a repeat of Division 1 last season where we had just one guy running away with every single race. Yeah. We want to see some new faces every race at the top of the leaderboards here.
Absolutely. I mean, D5 has a decent track record. I was in D5 last season, and we did have a different winner until the last 2 races, which were won by the same driver. So, I mean, maybe we'll have another similar D5 championship this year.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. So this is now just their, I guess this is technically their first flying lap. So we will see times starting to get posted on the board here. Really though, I mean, first lap, you're kind of still getting your tires up to temperature. Your car's still got a little bit more fuel in it, so we shouldn't see anything too earth-shattering. Which I say is already into the 202.5 zone, so off to a good start.
For sure. That will certainly come down though. Yeah, like you said, especially with these cooler temperatures, that first lap, you just want it to be a clean lap. You want it to be valid, just in case anything crazy happens. But yeah, that first one, is really still trying to get your tires warm up. These cars tend to, at least for me, really shine on that second or third lap.
Yeah, definitely. So in the meantime, we did see Mr. Tyler Martin putting in a 202.2, getting himself already up to 4th place. I mean, that's a great banker lap to have. Should give him a lot of confidence to push in this remaining 5 minutes here left in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
We saw his teammate, see there on the board, Mr. Shane Transu, up into 7th place himself with a 202.3. Not a whole lot of projection from the rest of our gold drivers. We see Heisner down there in 21st, but still plenty of time to go. What do we got? 3 laps left for each driver, so hopefully some good progress up the board out of them.
Absolutely. And the track is only going to get faster too, so that should help out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at my timing screen here, and the coach favorite, Mr. Divem Galindo, I'm going to be doing that all night. He had the 202.5, and coming into this final chicane here, he is 0.7 up, taking a super aggressive amount of curving. That Porsche is rocking back and forth, but 0.8 up on his delta is going to give him an incredible time here. Up into 2nd place with a 201.8.
Yeah, solid there. So yeah, that'll be a good base to get on. I think he's still got some time in him though. So yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you figure he's a full second off of his PB. I don't know what the track conditions are like. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I always felt that, even though it says optimum, that it changes over from fast to optimum, but there's almost grades of optimum. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing.
I definitely it's the same thing. So, and I haven't quite. Other than in the practice race yesterday, in these practice servers, I haven't seen the quali server tick over to optimum yet. So I'm sure, I can't tell on my end of things right now what the track condition is right now, if it's still fast or if it's ticked over to optimum. But yeah, there's definitely different levels, and like I said, this is a point where each lap, will start feeling like you have more and more grip. So
yeah, absolutely. So I'm just looking down the board. We don't have a whole lot of gold drivers out on track. I'm only seeing maybe 8 or 9. Mr. Galindo is improving on his time. He's up 0.3 coming into 130R here. Looking down the board for the folks at home, we got T. Martin on a flying lap himself. He's 0.6 up on his delta, looking to improve. B. Swift, who we can jump on to next, he's actually right behind his teammate on track in the other Sub-Zero Motorsports Porsche. Also, a good chunk of time up on his delta, looking to improve, as we see Galindo cross the line and put in provisional pole with a 201.195. And again, his teammate there, Brett Swift, up into 3rd with a 201.8.
That is strong for Sub-Zero Motorsport there. That would definitely be a great starting. It looks like we got Heisner in P5 there.
Yeah, there we go. And another Porsche, ZDR Boys, with a 202.030. So maybe it's a good track for Porsche. Maybe I'm regretting picking the BMW this season.
Yeah, I mean, my gut would tell me that Porsche would be pretty solid in the first sector, especially.
Yeah,
a little slide there.
Man, rotation is not a problem with that car, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So looking up the board, we've got 45 seconds left in the session. So everybody out on track, they're on their last flying lap. Divem not improving. His teammate Swift is up 0.2. Heisner unfortunately lost a little bit of time, so this probably won't be a PB lap for them. But let's give a look to this lovely carbon fiber black Aston Martin of KC Rich and the MHR Spectre team. Not the greatest best lap so far, but improving all the time, coming through Spoon here. And this Aston, I mean, just the stability on that car and the ability to put down the... as I say that, he has a little wiggle on the exit. It's the commentator curse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Aston, I drove that last season. It definitely can be pretty decent on rotation for a front engine car, for sure. And I think this is also a pretty solid car around here, because it doesn't lack on the top end either. So
Yeah, definitely. So we see Mr. Aaron Moreno crossing here. He should have a nice little improvement, getting himself up to 16th place.
gotta love the Lexus love.
T. Mart on his final lap got himself up into 3rd place with a 201.4.
Very
Last
nice.
driver out on track, we got Mr. Ramon Lorenzo up into 13th place himself. That is the end of our qualifying now. If I can click this button, you got your order on screen there. Galindo on pole, followed by J. May, that's J. Eric May from across the pond, in the Ferrari. So,
Absolutely.
while we are waiting for our drivers to get underway here, we've got 2 minutes for them to take a breather, get a drink of water, and get their setups ready for the race. Then they'll be starting their long and slow sighting lap around the Suzuka circuit. Let's take a moment to talk about our sponsors. On screen here, we see all of our community supporters, sponsors, and title sponsors. We also have our special thank yous to give to all of our, what would you call them? Our corporate sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, a huge thank you to all of them, and as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.com. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SR8 at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision-crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and styles. Elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups. Premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. And from Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairy World collectibles, magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costume, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron.
Fantastically well done. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you use Armamentario?
I do not use Armamentario. Yeah, I am super boring with my extra. I mean, I really should branch out a bit, you know, with all of my accessories on, you know, for ACC. I'm so boring and not very, let's say, technologically advanced. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, I'm the same way. I like to turn off all of the HUD elements, the timing thing in the top left, the tire widget down in the bottom right. It's just clutter, right? But but Armamentario, they've got the pedal traces. I don't know if you've ever seen Neil's Nyox stream.
Oh yeah. I do know you're talking about.
So I switched to the BMW this season, and trying to learn how to accurately trail brake, that Armamentario widget is gold. You can watch your trace in real time as you're coming off of that brake pedal. I highly recommended.
Oh wow. Well, you know what? I'll look into that, because you know I'm driving the Lexus, which you know has very needs very precise trail braking to be fast. That's partly what I'm struggling with.
Exactly.
That thing.
Yep. You're in the same boat then. That car's not really known for its brakes, is it?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I love the car, and I'm not gonna start bashing Lexus anytime soon. But yeah, the braking, it's Lexus brakes. So.
That's all right. So out here on our formation lap, coming through the hairpin, we've got that lovely Sub-Zero Porsche. Could have had Scorpion on the other side, but beggars can't be choosers. Jay Eric, he actually did this livery just yesterday or the day before. He decided, hey, he's got to join the rest of the cool kids and get himself a livery.
And it looks fantastic. I love that Tron inspired livery there.
He did a great job. So we got
fantastic.
Tyler Martin in third, Brett Swift in fourth place, Bermudez Garcia. Still a great starting position for him. If you're thinking ahead to the championship, fourth, fifth place average, that'll win you a championship. You don't have to win every race.
Absolutely. We saw it last season. Austin Red was our winner for D5, and he did not win a race, but he had solid P5 and up finishes basically the entire season. So, yeah, this is a great spot. Consistency is the most important thing.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got Mr. Martin's teammate there, Shane Transu, Heisner in the other Porsche, Tim Ducharme, who was our silver pick. So on the board there, you see he's number 3 amongst the silvers, maybe looking to make a little bit of progress up the leaderboard as we are going double file now. Everybody's going to bunch up a bit, coming through 130R here and getting ready to start this race. Might as well keep going. We got Mr. Jeff Shepard. That is our top D6 Castaway qualifier up in 9th place. Team Thibodeau, who I don't know what the relationship is between Mr. D and Mr. Austin Thibodeau. I don't know if it's a brother thing like the Yarens or maybe a father-son, but up there in 10th place, rounding out our top 10. Divem Galindo coming down the main straight, getting ready to take the green flag. A little bit of distance behind him to T-Mart, who's still weaving. That's bold, coming up to the start.
This is interesting spacing here.
Yeah, Brett Swift could maybe be a little bit further ahead. He's almost about to just give away that position to ABC, but there we go.
It's a strong running there. We got a really strong start from Galindo up here.
Brett Swift outside of T. Martin trying to hold it on. If he can keep that line, he'd have the advantage going into the left-hander, but nope, he just tucks in line. So we've got Galindo from May, from Martin, from Swift, from Bermudez. Garcia has actually gotten shuffled backwards a ways, currently running in 4th place. Or, I'm sorry, oh no, what do we see in the board there?
We have a drive-through there for Brett Swift. I wonder if that was just an out of position there.
Yeah,
for the start.
It did look like he was maybe too far back, and the game said, no, you've been naughty.
Yeah.
That's a shame for him. I mean, that's almost your whole race done there.
Yeah. Yeah, Suzuka's, it's a tricky track. You could definitely still, something still could happen. So you want to stay within it. We get points all the way down. So, it's important to, not get too, caught up in it. But yeah, that is a shame. That's a bummer way to start off the race for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking back now down the order, still have Martin. He's just kind of following. It's a 60-minute race. You can't win it all the time on the first lap, but you can definitely lose it. So
absolutely, yeah. And it looked like our top stayed pretty clean throughout. I mean, obviously we still got a tricky corner here, so anything could happen. But this first lap seems like it's been a quite clean first lap. Oh, I say that, a commentator's curse again, and we have a McLaren off.
Oh, who
into
was
the wall there?
B. Charland. I'm not sure what position he was running. Oh, that's our silver choice to win. Tim Ducharme got a little squirrely, I guess. Coming out through 130R. Maybe had a little bit of a wide exit down into 31st place.
Man.
You hate to see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a bummer. Now I wonder if he's gonna have any damage. I mean, he did hit the wall there on that front end, and if there's gonna be any damage that's going to be affecting any aero through places like the S's.
Yeah, no, diffuser does look, or I guess front splitter does look a little scuffed up.
Hopefully that won't cause too much. We got some damage on that Ferrari there as well.
Yeah, so let's pop ahead. Closest battle on track right now. This is on board with Ben Roberts, currently in 11th, chasing down Mr. Duangbong Leo in 10th place. Coming into this hairpin, maybe seeing a defensive line out of Duangbong Leo, but everybody staying nice and safe.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like Garcia there fell down a couple positions too from his original starting position. What I find a strong, looking at the team championship, we've got Martin and Transu there. They're teammates, and that is a strong place to be for two teammates being in third and fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did see they didn't have the greatest luck out of the first two races. I think they were our pick last race to maybe make an impression.
Mm-hmm. They could definitely use a good result here. So
yeah, so we did see T Mart. I'm not so sure what happened to him. He got shuffled back down into 8th place.
Is that more commentators' curse?
Yes, it is.
Ooh, yep.
Was that the exit of Spoon?
Looks like Spoon.
Yeah.
Looks like the exit of Spoon.
But
yeah, that's a tricky one. I mean, you have to kind of maybe get back on throttle a little bit and then brake again, and it's tricky to stay balanced through there.
Yeah, but a decent enough recovery. Only lost, I believe, 4 or 5 positions. Still running strong, up in 8th place. I think he's got a chance to really make this one work for him.
Absolutely. Yep. He still has a lot that he could do from here. It's still not a bad position.
So we've got Austin Thibodeau running here in 7th place, trying to hunt down that BMW of Alexander Bermudez Garcia. Had a great exit from Degner 2 there, coming up into the hairpin, but again, everybody just keeping it nice and respectful. This is good stuff so far out of D5.
Absolutely, yeah. They're keeping things nice and clean. Now, this is a pretty, compared to Imola, this is a pretty open, fast track, and it's a little bit easier to stay with other cars, if that makes sense. And so yeah, hopefully they're taking advantage of that.
Yeah, just checking in with our leader here, Mr. Divem Galindo, finishing off his 3rd lap of this race here, 55 minutes remaining. Being chased down by Mr. J. Eric May, and Heisner has worked his way up to 3rd place. I believe he started, 6th or 7th? So decent stuff out of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Shane Transu here in 4th. Looking back the field again, we've got Mr. Ben Roberts right up on the bumper of the Ferrari of Duangbong Leo coming into turn 2 here, who himself is right up on that Visual Esports McLaren. This is shaping up to be a nice little battle for, we got 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, kind of all on screen at the same. Oh, no.
Ooh, in an off track there from Shane Transu.
That was actually his teammate, Tyler Martin.
Oh, Tyler Martin. Oh.
Oh, that was... an unfortunate rejoin.
That was, yeah.
You know, because you saw Martin, he got a little wide. And he'll have another off track here, and then as he comes back on, he kind of checks up Duong Bong Leo, who then gets spun by Roberts.
Yeah, just a little bit of some uncertainty through the S's now. That's one of those you know, that's a complex of corners that you tend to, you know, when in your practice, you really just keep practicing your line there, and when your line changes, you know, in a race, it could like completely throw you off in where you are on the turns. And yeah, it just seemed like a little bit of chaos there to handle.
Yeah, kind of hard to fault everybody. It was just the accordion effect, and Roberts and Duong Bong Leo got caught out.
Yeah, it's really tricky.
So back up to the front. Still looking at Galindo from May, from Heisner from Transu. Jeff Shepard here rocking that. Oh, that must be a little bit of lapped traffic we saw here. A little bit of blue flag coming down the main street. That scared me for a second.
Yeah.
But Shepard from Bermudez Garcia, really close action here coming into turn 2.
This is big for Shepard. You know, keep in mind he's coming from D6. And he's running P5 here in D5, and that's great.
Yeah, definitely proven he can keep up with the higher division. Maybe should have gone a little bit faster in his qualifying stint. Come on now.
yeah.
Another close battle here. We have Tyler Martin right up behind the Ferrari of Mr. Dry Bones Malone. Coming into Degner 1, little squirrely on the exit from Dry Bones. I think T-Mart close enough to hear that maybe will we see something coming into the hairpin?
He got a little, it looked like he struggled for traction a little bit on the exit there of Degner 2, but he seemed a little bit braver on the brakes there. So that, I mean, right now, I mean, he could be setting up something, you know, nice for after the exit of Spoon. You know, I like to try to look ahead for those sorts of things, but it looks like not quite the run to be able to do anything, but just got to stay patient here, you know, get used to looking at the back car, just a little bit trouble there putting on the power.
Yeah, maybe the track is still fast, because that was not great traction from a car that normally you would expect to be really stable through this kind of stuff. Malone has gone a bit wide, but it shouldn't hurt him too much into the final chicane. Everybody keeping it nice and respectful.
Absolutely.
Good stuff out of these guys.
This could be a run here, coming into turn 1.
Yeah, tough overtaking zone. I mean, if the car ahead doesn't go wide through 1, there's really nothing doing into 2.
Nothing you could do. You need a really good run out of that chicane. So usually it's wise, you know, unless you could make the pass, you know, on the pit straight. If you're coming at all close to that braking zone, it's such a we got a little bit of blinking there from T Martin. But yeah, unless you could get that pass done early. That is such a tough braking zone to go because it's so fast. Wow, going.
Oh, is he go? Oh. Wow! That was aggressive.
Yeah, that certainly was not where you would expect a pass to go. But I mean, he was just feeling. You know what?
You know, and he didn't really go all the way for it, but I think just the look to the inside kind of spooked Malone.
Absolutely, yeah, and we talked about that a lot last time, you know, just kind of sneaking your way into a pass, and you kind of are going to be forcing a mistake on the other, and that cost Malone there one more position too. And yeah, it's tricky, but yeah, that's definitely seems like a little bit of mind games there from T. Martin.
Yeah. So looking down the board, we've got a nice little group, 18, 19, 20th, and 21st, all pretty close to each other here. We've got, we're watching Ian Gilchrist right now in that really nice looking Matrix livery. Ferrari. Man, why do we have we got a lot of Ferraris on the grid today? What's going on here?
There is. I feel like there's a lot of Ferraris everywhere I go. Which is funny. It's not a car I necessarily love. It is a strong car for sure, but it doesn't quite fit my driving style. It's a bit twitchy for me. But yeah, a lot of people seem to love it. I mean, you could get a lot of pace out of it if you know how to drive it, though. That's for sure. But yeah, it seems to be a popular choice here.
Looking back, then we've got Juan Velasco, another one of the TC8 drivers from Colombia. I'll have to learn how to say good evening in Espanol.
Yeah.
It's probably buenos noches, but what do I know?
I am absolutely terrible with languages, so I feel like I haven't even properly learned English yet. So.
Oh, and looking further down, we had Casey Rich in that Aston Martin. So that's B Swift ahead of him in the other Sub-Zero Motorsports Porsche. Down in 24th, he was the drive-through at the beginning of the race. So, he's on his recovery drive, 24th, maybe looking to make a little bit of progress up the ranks as he's closing the gap between himself and Mr. Anthony Lombardo in the McLaren. This is a battle for 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Yeah, and that team visual McLaren, and that is a great looking livery.
Oh, they did a pretty good job on that car. They're professionals.
Absolutely. Yeah, that looks fantastic. But yeah, so with Swift there, I think he's gonna make some grounds here. It's a little bit wide on that. It seems like I'm pretty sure the track might still be fast here, because I can see a lot of cars struggling on corner exit for power. Little peak there with Brett Swift trying to throw off that McLaren in front of him, and obviously that is not a
oh no, save it. Oh, that's
a tricky spot to be in.
Yeah, so that was Casey Rich in the Aston, and kind of just missed his braking point. That wasn't really an intentional move, I felt.
I don't think so either. I have a feeling he just missed his braking point. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see. And one thing to point out, the sun is in your eyes around there too. Mm-hmm. So, it might, if you're really looking at the cars ahead of you, the sun, it might throw off the shadows that you're used to for your braking point, especially if you're used to practicing at a different, time of day, like say in the qualifying server. And if it sometimes could just throw off that where your braking point is.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping back ahead to the battle for first and second, had Mr. J. Eric May, who was up within a second of Devon Galindo, has dropped down now. The gap between the two is 1.6. I was looking for a little bit of action there, but we will jump back instead to the battle. This is Shane Transu, Jeff Shepard, and Alexander Bermudez Garcia running 4th, 5th, and 6th, and less than a second covering the three of those guys. What did I just witness?
That is
Alexander Bermudez Garcia. Wait, what? Okay, hang on.
This is wild. I don't even know how to think of all of that, but
how
Garcia comes out in top, he's going to give that position. So obviously he didn't feel he deserved that overtake there.
Well, and I feel like that's what I feel like. So I feel like Jeff Shepard went wide out of 130R and almost gained an advantage on Transu, and that's what kind of kicked it all off, where both him and Transu lifted early into the chicane, allowed ABG to come straight through the middle of them like he was kicking a field goal. But I mean, everybody's still driving.
Yep, and we're back into the position.
We're
through all that. So hey, a huge applause to all of them for keeping things clean there, because that was clean, and that did not seem like a easy thing to maneuver for all three of them. So that was some interesting stuff there. Though.
Yeah, a round of applause all around. Looking ahead, J May has closed the gap again to Divim Galindo, who is not having a great lap himself. I have the deltas here. Galindo is a second down on his best race lap, maybe struggling a little bit on tires. You know, as the fuel load reduces and as your front end tires go off at different rates, maybe the balance of the car isn't quite there. But he is definitely struggling right now.
Absolutely, yeah. That J.E. May definitely seems to be keeping him honest through this, and not letting him get away, and that's definitely important. So, your driver you're chasing can't get comfortable. But it looks like through the chicane there, J.E. May has a really good run on. Maybe not quite as quick onto the power there.
Yeah, right up on his tail. Only 0.2 between them, but I'm this is kind of Imola all over again. I was expecting the slipstring effect to be a little bit stronger there, but the Ferrari just couldn't gain an advantage, and try as he might, as close as he got there to maybe rubbing bumpers, Galindo keeps the position. 40 minutes left in the race.
And right now, I'm thinking it'll be a little bit early for a pit strategy, but I think undercut definitely has some potential here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I missed the move. We're going to go back and look, but this is Bermudez Garcia on Jay Shepard, 5 and 6th. So Shepard maybe just going a little wide through the S's, loses the position.
Wow. Yep, that's just opportunistic there from Garcia, and he's just able to hook it around the outside, find some grip. That's, it could be difficult through the S's, when you get thrown off your usual line. There sometimes isn't nearly as much grip as you think there's going to be. I've noticed that on a lot of turns, at least at this track.
Yeah, and so as they were fighting, this is Austin Thibodeau, who he was in kind of a distant 7th, has closed down now to within 0.4 of Shepard. Shepard's race is not over. He might be in a little bit more trouble here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when you're Thibodeau in that situation, you're like, yeah, just keep battling, bring it back here. I could use it. And we got quite a string of Ferraris here. I mean, we got 5 in a row right there.
Yeah, this is a guy we haven't mentioned yet. This is Sean Leitch in another one of our Ferraris, putting a little bit of pressure on Tyler Martin. This is a battle for Tyler Martin in 8th place, and then 9th, and Dry Bones Malone, you see there at the bottom of your screen, keeping it close in 10th place. Oh no. Oh,
shoot. Taking a pit.
Okay.
That is interesting.
This
so
is early.
Yeah, he felt like, the pressure was strong. He maybe, hopefully he doesn't come out in big traffic, but he just felt like he wanted some to relieve the pressure, and maybe he's thinking that he wanted to make sure that he made it in the pits before J.E. May does, and that way to cover off any potential undercut there.
Yeah, covering off the undercut. So now running order, J.E. May, and I guess we'll take a look at Mr. Mike Heisner running himself a lonely 2nd place. The gap ahead to J. May is 6 seconds, and the gap behind to Shane Transu is 5. So he's kind of just out here hot lapping at this point.
Yeah, these races are both like tough and not tough at the same time, because sometimes you're like, you know, wondering, you know, what's going on. You can't see much. You see that you're in second place, obviously, but there's, you know, not much happening. But at the same time, you could find that comfort in that rhythm where you could just turn out, you know, lap after lap after lap, and you don't really have too much to worry about.
And I feel bad. So the service we use to sync all of our liveries, Awesome Sim Racing, has been having some trouble lately. I might have to reach out to Mr. Heisner personally and get his files, because surely he's got some kind of custom livery that we're just not getting to fully appreciate as he comes around the final chicane, finishing now his this will be lap 11 for our front runners. 37 minutes left in the race. Jumping back now, Alexander Bermudez Garcia right up on the bumper of Mr. Shane Transu. But again, that slipstream effect.
Yeah, he seems to be gaining a bit, but it's not enough to do anything. I mean, Transu looks like he had a little bit of a defensive line there into turn one. That's not one that you want to send it on. You know, that first braking zone on that first turn is not very heavy, so that's really sketchy there to go side by side into.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a little bit of blue flag there. So we're looking at Shepard. That Matrix McLaren behind him is blue flagged, with Thibodeau behind in 6th place in another Ferrari. Looking still a feisty battle, but these guys are all kind of just keeping in order. 36 minutes left in the race. No need to be too aggressive. Maybe we'll get them on the pit stops.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, that undercut can be pretty strong. And where did our leader come out from? Let's see it.
So he came out in 25th place, and just looking at the relatives, not a whole lot around him that he would be worried about, would be held up by. He's actually got 24 seconds ahead to Ben Roberts. We might as well temporarily put up the map so we can see there that red dot at the top coming out of turn 2 is Mr. Davim Galindo. And so I know you had mentioned there was a concern about traffic, but on this circuit it's so long, there's just there's nothing there, and he's free to hot lap by himself.
Yep, just free to go, and you know that could have been a big part of his decision to pit earlier, and you know this way he gets some really clean laps early on in his stint.
An excellent decision from him there. Got some fresh tires. Hopefully make a little bit of a recovery. I know he was struggling for pace there. Our current battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Transu, Bermudez Garcia, Jay Shepard, still covered by only a second. Looking a little bit further down the order, we got Mr. Soupy Rice, what a name, coming up on Dry Bones Malone. This is a battle we're looking at for 9th and 10th place on track. Got to give a little bit of love, though, to the Lexus, Mr. Rob Warren. It's a beautiful car. It's a great sounding car.
It is, yeah, and he's running in P11, which this is pretty good for, I mean, his first 2 outings, I don't think quite went as planned during the first 2 races. So, yeah, P11 is pretty solid, and so I'm sure he's happy to be there.
Another driver we haven't seen recently. Eric Rutterham running down in 16th place, following Mr. Cesar Pizzuto in another Ferrari, and Roger Dismukes up in 14th place. About a second and a half covering those 3 drivers. Another battle to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a Porsche sandwich there.
Yeah. So 33 minutes left in this race. The game doing weird things with the camera as cars are going under the bridge there. But we will see. So this will be right about the time that Mr. J. Eric May would be considering a pit stop. Not yet. He's got more left in those tires, and he is continuing.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be thinking, you know, I've got clear air here, and you know, like was saying before, you might not know if you come out in traffic. So it's maybe worth it. If you've got good pace, stay out there. It'll help you later on in the race.
Absolutely. Looking down the order, we've got our other J-May putting a little bit of pressure on, this is the teammate of Alexander Bermudez Garcia. We've got Alejandro Juarin. This is a battle for 12th and 13th place. I gotta love this Pokemon Mustang, though. It definitely needs a little bit of time on camera. A little battle scarred, though. I'm seeing some damage on that front bumper. Coming into the S's section. Oh yeah, that's a bouncy hood. He has definitely taken a front impact.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if he caught that damage there, but
yeah, definitely not sure where that came from. So looking ahead to our front runners, this is Mr. Alexander Bermudez Garcia, who has lost a bit of time to Shane Transu ahead. The gap that you're looking at there is 1.2 seconds, coming into 130R here at the end of our 14th lap. 31 minutes left in the race. Again, we're going to be looking to see how is this pit strategy going to go. I mean, if I were Jay Shepard, maybe I'd feel like I was getting held up, but no, Mr. Jay Shepard, who's running in 5th place, they're just going to keep it going.
Yeah, I feel like in a little bit of a train here, you're kind of waiting for the other driver to do something, with the pit strategy. But we're definitely in, that pit window that, I definitely, like, if I was Shepard there, I definitely would think it's about time to pit. I would come in the next pit. And, yeah, we'll see how this pit strategy shapes up, though.
So, looking down the board, if I can get him. So, we've got some pitters, Sean Leitch, Mr. Soupy Rice, Jay May keeping it going here, still first place overall, but we'll see how it shakes out after the pits. Running first place, that would be a blue flag driver behind him. The gap to second place, Mr. Mike Heisner, still 7 seconds, so this man's still just hot lapping, having a lonely second place race here. Austin Thibodeau getting a little feisty ahead with that Mustang of Mr. Jay Shepard. Thought he might have had some overlap there at the hairpin, but that American muscle pulling out a gap now coming into Spoon.
Yeah, just putting down that V8 power, gotta love it. But yeah, this is definitely starting to close up here. So definitely, I would not be surprised to see at least maybe a couple of these drivers peel into the pits here this next time around. Little bit of a peek there on JP May, just to see if he could throw off that Ferrari in front of him. Not gonna happen though.
Yeah. So we do see a pitter, so that's Mr. Shane Transu. Oh no!
Shepard. Ooh, alas.
He hit on the pit entry, yeah.
He did, yeah. That seemed like a bit of either late decision or traffic from behind. Yeah.
Oh. I mean, man.
He just wasn't expecting that Ferrari to be there. That's tricky.
Yeah, that was an awkward one.
Hopefully that damage doesn't throw him off too bad. With that kind of side impact there, you wonder if that's going to affect his suspension at all.
Yeah. So our former race leader, Jay May, in the pits, ABG back out on track, showing on our timing screens as being back into first place overall. Very curious how this is going to shake out, though, once everybody leaves the pits, to see where Mr. J. Eric May comes back out.
So, our first pitter was Galindo, was it not?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he has quite
Oh,
a healthy lead on him, and
well, that's an excellent point. So, okay, so that's right. So let me correct myself there. So we had Galindo pit first, currently showing in 9th place. Heisner, who was running that lonely 2nd place, actually got ahead of Galindo. So looking at my timing screens, let me tell you the gaps real quick. So J. May, who I would be thinking is potentially our overall first place driver after pits, he has got a 5-second gap behind him to Heisner, who himself has a 10-second gap to the former race leader, Divem Galindo, down in 9th place.
yeah, so that's tough. So the early pit strategy was not quite as, maybe not quite what Galindo had hoped for. But yeah, so it looked like J.E. May, just being able to maybe get some clear air, put in some clean laps, and now, I mean, he has obviously done well to put together that strategy. So now he's just got to keep things clean and maybe cruise away here.
So looking ahead, this would be Alexander Bermudez Garcia, has yet to pit, showing in first place. Same for his teammate, currently running in 2nd place. Lots more people pitting. We've got Swift, Thibodeau, the other J. May.
Yeah, J.P. May.
So now we've got J.E. May showing in 4th place overall. Let me see if I can click this button and see. So yeah, so there you see our first 3 drivers have yet to pit: Garcia, Huarin, and Mertzen in another Porsche. So our overall leader we would expect to be Mr. J. May after all pit stops are completed, with again a 5-second gap to Heisner behind. And honestly, I'm shocked. How did Galindo lose 15 seconds?
I'm seeing in the chat, Galindo put it in the wall on the exit
of a corner.
I wonder when that was.
Yeah. Man, that's a shame if it was true, because he was running really strong there at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, that's a shame when that happens.
But, hey, so still 3rd place overall of the people who have pit.
Absolutely, and we were talking before, if you're able to stay consistent in 3rd place, is that is huge. And I don't know what we've seen from Galindo in terms of race results.
Yeah, he's had a rough start to the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, but obviously he's got some pace there, so things could turn around here. And 3rd place is not a bad way to start off a uptick in finishes.
Yeah, so this is Garcia in the pits. So J. May has gone past him on track now. So we've got J. May, Mike Heisner. The question is now, where will Galindo stack up in relation to Bermudez Garcia? We see him there on track.
Yeah.
Less than a second between the two, and the car ahead, Bermudez Garcia. His tires got to be pretty cold. I'd be worried. He's looking a little vulnerable here.
Yep. they're going to be pretty cold, and this is the Porsche and the S's, which is got to be pretty intimidating to have behind you, especially when you're in the BMW, which maybe the S's aren't quite its strength. As you can see, I mean, Galindo really closing up behind him, and gonna put on some pressure here into the Degners.
Definitely an opportunity. Not the best exit out of Degner 2. Not going to be able to put in too much pressure into the hairpin, but we'll see how this battle plays out.
Ooh, going a little bit
deep on the cold tires.
Garcia there.
Side by side.
Through 200R here.
Does he try to shove it into Spoon? What do we do here?
Yeah.
Keeps it respectful. Okay.
Yep. yeah. I mean, to be fair, if I was him, I'd do the same. I'd tuck in behind. You know, I'd try to get a good run. It looks like he got a little bit wide there through the second part of Spoon. And, yeah, that... It is hard to do that after you're battling side by side, but, you know, sometimes you just got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I would be worried though with that very early pit. You got to figure at the end of the race, his tires are going to be screaming compared to the cars around him.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in, and especially at the end of the race. You know, if especially for cars who maybe decided to pit a little bit later, like Garcia. Like, these tires are going to be really strong towards the end of this stint. You know, while he's on much lower fuel with newer tires. You know, that's definitely a big help in terms of pace.
Looking ahead, so this is Mr. J. May. I'm just gonna pull this screen back up here. So the driver showing overall first place, Mr. Mert Merson, has yet to pit still. So again, it's J. May from Heisner, from Bermudez Garcia, from Galindo, who would be our potential fourth place driver, putting pressure on Garcia for a podium here. Once again, not the greatest exit out of Degner 2. Not able to put any pressure on into the hairpin.
Yeah, and at this point, Garcia's tires are going to be warmed up. So
yeah, that advantage is gone for Galindo, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, J.E. May, that car ahead is Mert Merson. The man who has done his pit stop already has caught up to a driver in a Porsche who hasn't. So this is technically a battle for position. Mertson under no obligation to get out of the way. There he goes, into the pits. Okay.
Into the pits he goes, yeah.
Into the pits. So this will correct our running order. We are now looking at J. Eric May, top of the leaderboards. Heisner, they're going into second place. Bermudez, Garcia, and Galindo will be taking third and fourth. And yeah, I'm not sure where Heisner will come out, but it definitely won't be anywhere near this battle. Looking down the order, we've got our other J. May, JP May, who is pressurizing the other Colombian BMW into the final chicane here. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say the words American muscle.
Yeah.
Even with the aero damage, I want to see some action.
Yeah, that hood really flapping there. I wonder how much that's affecting things down, the straight in terms of top speed. The Mustang is good on a line, but so is the BMW. So, you definitely don't want to have too much extra drag.
Ooh, just caught the tail end of that one. So that was from the view of Brett Swift, who we saw the driver ahead. I believe that was Pizzuto in the number 208 Ferrari. We're going to see a replay. He just got a little wide.
Oh
no.
And then there was but he straightened him out. He's like,
Yeah.
Hopefully get you pointing back at the right direction. Don't know if that's the best way for that to go, but
Yeah, another
that's
tough
it.
incident there. I mean, the driver ahead was having trouble, not really entitled to run into the back of him, but hard to assign fault, to be honest. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's tricky for sure, and I'm not going to pretend to be a steward because I am absolutely not a steward.
Oh,
But,
and it's a thankless job that I would not volunteer for myself, being an
Absolutely.
SRA steward.
Well, here, I'll pull it out. Huge thanks to all our SRA stewards. I mean, they've been having to put in some overtime, so yeah.
Yeah, this has been a rough season for our boys, taking care of the stewarding tickets. We appreciate all of them, though. They keep the racing clean here. So
Yeah.
this is Ben Roberts. We saw him at the start of the race, had a little bit of a rough time, running down in 24th, and again wide through Spoon, and loses a position to Mr. Mert Merson.
Yeah, and we have our coach's pick, Ducharme down there. I noticed he has the fastest lap, so obviously he has pace. It's always a shame to see, when because he had that incident at 130R, but obviously he's got pace here. So it's always a shame to see.
Yeah, you're right. Fastest lap of the race there being a 2:02.687, which even our leaders having a little trouble matching. So ahead, kind of a lonely race developing for our top two. We've got J. Eric May here, who is 7 seconds clear of Mr. Mike Heisner in second, who is himself 9 seconds clear of Bermudez Garcia, and this would be our closest battle of the top 10. But man, I think we're starting to see there DFM's tires maybe not in the best shape, losing the gap ahead to Bermudez Garcia.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's tricky for sure, and especially if you're. I don't think he's had too much battling, which is good. He might have been able to do some solid tire management, but yeah, still it's got to be tricky.
Yep. So Shane Transu here in 5th. 15 minutes left in this race. If I were Galindo, I would be worried about this charging Ferrari.
Yeah, that's where you got to turn your attention. Slightly. You don't want to look too much at relevance while you're racing. But, yeah, preserving is important too.
Yep. So we saw Sean Leitch there in 6th place, being a little pressurized here by Austin Thibodeau in 7th place. That would be that yellow Porsche behind is a blue flag, so not currently in the equation. 8th place is 10 seconds behind Mr. Austin Thibodeau here. From most angles, I would say these Ferraris are pretty good looking cars, but from behind, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, a lot of cars sometimes from behind, if you're just stuck looking at them constantly, they all start to get ugly. But
yeah,
they're definitely better ones than others.
Looking back down the order here, so we're looking from the view of Duong Bong Leo, who is pressurizing Mr. Brett Swift ahead in the Mortal Kombat Porsche.
Defense, that's difficult there. Sometimes when you're attacking and then you throw yourself off trying to throw off somebody ahead, and then you got to immediately go from attacking to defending. So yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah, so ahead of Swift there, we see Lombardo in that visual McLaren, and behind in the rearview mirror, K. Rich, only a half a second behind Duong Bong Leo. Whoa, Brett Swift around the outside of the... Oh no.
That's a hard time putting down the power. Oh, what a shame for Brett Swift here. This has been such a tough race for him. I gotta feel for him. But yeah, it looked like he went a little late, looking to get a really good exit here. and just had a hard time putting down that power. Oh.
Yeah, that is a rough sequence of events for him. That's a shame.
Absolutely.
And yep,
he's
that's
just gonna RTG there.
Yeah, too much damage to drive off. So,
man, yeah, that's a bummer. I hate to see it end like that.
looking back ahead, Thibodeau himself a little oversteer on the exit there. This is getting a little wild coming down here the last 12 minutes of this race.
Yeah, and I don't remember when he pitted, but oh wow, going a little deep there. His tires might be crying out a little bit. There's been some battling, so they might be not feeling too hot there.
Yeah. Looking back down the order, this is the fan favorite, Tyler Martin, running down in 12th place. Hunting the driver ahead, Dry Bones Malone, only 0.6 ahead. And Jay Shepard, our D6 hero, running in 13th place here, only a half a second behind Mr. Martin. So a nice little battle shaping up here between 11th, 12th, and 13th positions.
And I wonder, it looks like on that left side, when he hit the pit wall there, it looks like there's no damage. So my guess is he fixed whatever damage was caused there.
Interesting point, and maybe a mistake. In this game, side damage in terms of aerodynamic performance, not that big a deal. I would have elected to turn that off and save the time on the pit stop.
Yeah. Now the only counter to that is in case if you have some suspension damage, and because this is definitely, most tracks you don't want suspension damage, but this is also definitely a track where it could mess things up a lot. But I don't know if there would have been suspension damage. Knowing me, I would have risked it, but I don't know.
Yeah, and he didn't really have time to feel out, does the car feel okay? Can I drive with this damage? He probably just did the safe strategy.
Yeah, you're just going into the pit. So, yeah, and at that point, too, you might not want to make a, rash decision there. That's easy to say, not easy to do,
Yep. So Galindo, despite being on, at least 5 laps older tires, doing a good job of keeping it tight with Garcia here, still only a second behind.
Yeah, still not leaving room for Garcia there to make a mistake.
Yeah, looking down the order, this is the battle for 17th and 18th, Rich and Lombardo. I'd love to see good close racing. That McLaren is a good-looking car.
It is. It really is.
I might have to ask them who does their liveries. Might have to hire him for next season.
Yeah, because that is a great-looking livery there.
A little bit further back, we had Roberts hunting down Pizzuto, who you see ahead there. Just a half a second between them. Can definitely take a little bit more of these curbs. Kind of extend those track limits there. Uh-oh.
Oh, Galindo. Ooh, I wonder, so is there another car involved with that?
Oh, just by himself. Got too far over the inside of 130R. And spun it off to the inside into the wall.
That was very similar accident there to Ducharme towards the beginning of the race. It's easy to do, especially if you've got some old tires. The rear engine Porsche, that back end wants to rotate. So
yeah, so he's made a decent recovery. So he was running 4th, down in 7th now. That car behind is not for position. That's a blue flag. He's got a nice cushion of 5 seconds to the man running in 8th place. We see there, Mr. Alan Leung. So he does have time to recover. Only 8 minutes left in this race. We gotta hope Galindo holds it together. We believe in him.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Close battle on track. Casey Rich, who was
line there.
at one point fully alongside Lombardo, but maybe on the straight that McLaren is pretty slippery in a straight line.
Yeah, it certainly can be. It's maybe even closer through the S's. I mean, they were close last lap through the S's, but definitely. Ooh, that inside on the grass there maybe causing a little bit of understeer there on that Aston.
Yep. So the best battle on track is still Dry Bones Malone, Tyler Martin, and Jay Shepard, covered by 1 second, battling for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Coming into Spoon here. Everybody just kind of... Malone, a little bit of a tight line. Tyler Martin, am I seeing, is this connection here that he's kind of glitching around back and forth?
I think so, yeah. It looks like throughout the race he's had a bit of a connection issue. I've been very familiar with that the last 2 races, so I know what it's like. It's tough, you know, when you're seeing, you know, not only for the other drivers seeing him blinking, but like seeing all the drivers around you blinking, it really gets into your head. So yeah, it's difficult. He's got a pretty good run out of the chicane here.
Malone going defensive.
Super defensive.
We'll see if he's able to hit this braking spot. Really conservative through turn 1, but keeps it together for turn 2.
Yep. Yeah, and I noticed Shepard, I don't know if it was the run through 130 or the chicane, but he dropped back just a little bit. But this battling, you know, with Malone and Martin, you know, definitely makes it so he could just get right back up onto them.
Yeah, very easy to keep it in the mix coming into Degner 1 here. Little wide through Degner 2, out onto the dirt, but keeps it together nice and tight. And like you said, if Tyler Martin and Dry Bones Malone keep battling with each other, it's not going to be hard for Jay Shepard to make that ground back up.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess we might as well do a tour of the running order. So this is J.E. May passing a blue flag. Don't worry about that. Got a 10-second gap now to Mr. Mike Heisner, still just running that cool, calm, and collected second place. Bermudez Garcia, a 6-second gap between himself and second. Running in third, we got Mr. Shane Transu, a very good result for the Latifi Racing School team.
Love it.
I don't know if I'd take lessons from that guy.
Yeah, that's pretty great name. But yeah, with Eisner there, definitely has had a pretty boring race. But sometimes, you know, it's hard to dislike the boring races too much if it means it's a P2. So
Hey, any podium is a good podium.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this we do see. Actually, looking back down the order, this battle between so we've got S. Rice in the Ferrari ahead, being hunted down by Mr. Rob Warren in the Lexus.
Man, the best car ever.
So this
Got
is
to turn off my Lexus bias.
No, we don't begrudge people our biases. So these two battles, so this is T-Mart, 11th, 12th, and 13th, and Rob Warren, looking ahead, battle for 9th and 10th, are kind of our two closest groupings within the top 15. A little further down, we had Anthony Lombardo being hunted down by Duong Bong Leo. And actually, I'm going to attempt a replay here. We were looking at this earlier. This is Lombardo being chased down by that Aston Martin, And I believe there was an overtake here. Lombardo a little wide. Yeah, he was just offline through the S's. Yeah. So he lost that set. So that was 17th he was running in. He's 18th now, and pressure behind from Duong Bong Leo.
For sure, yeah. That's got to feel good for Rich there, because, I mean, he was falling right behind him for quite some time. Ooh, a little bit of scrappy.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Keep it together. Keep it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't park your car there, though.
Yeah,
There's cars behind.
Yeah, that I would be eyes glued on the relative there to make sure nobody's going to be coming through. But, I mean, that was very polite of Rob Warren. But
yeah, no, that's definitely the Sim Racing Alliance kind of gentleman's rules. If there is an incident and you wait for the guy that you hit, you don't get hit as hard by the stewards. So very good there. I don't know if I would have parked it right in the middle of the track.
Right, yeah, I mean, I would have tried to maybe, park it off in the middle of the green there in that chicane, but.
That's okay. There was plenty of gap behind, so that was so Rob Warren in 10th, Dry Bones Malone. There's still 3 seconds between the two of them, even now. So he was fine. That was safe.
Yeah.
We still got Mr. T Mart, Jay Shepard, and Dry Bones Malone, 11th, 12th, and 13th. I think this battle's going to go for the rest of this race.
Yeah. It's,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
we had trouble.
Oh.
Hopefully this wasn't another bit of contact. We had Rice trying to get the replay on what happened.
Should be, it looked like it was right coming up here on Degner too.
And still falling, getting passed by our other D6.
That's Shepard there.
Well, so that's...
Or no, that's actually...
Yeah, that's our other D6 castaway, Clark Gould, making the move for 13th place now.
Oh, man, that's a shame for Super Rice there. I mean, to be knocked down from 9th. Right at the end. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. More slightly defensive lines there from Drybone Malone here.
So
more Shepard just hoping they battle.
So coming now, I have to imagine with only 22 seconds left on the clock and our race leader at the hairpin, this will surely be our last racing lap. The car you see behind there, not for position. J. Eric May still with a 10-second advantage to Heisner in second place. Still 5 seconds to Bermudez Garcia. And Transu, Leitch, and Thibodeau rounding out our top 6. We got to check back in with the battle, though. I mean, I feel like this has been going on for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like, it's been half of the race, just these two basically glued to each other.
Yeah, I mean, will he be... I mean, again, white flag, final lap of the race. Will we see any sort of move from Mr. Tyler Martin? This would maybe be an opportunity. Defensive line from Malone.
Yeah, he's really big on those defensive lines, but that could leave this to get a decent run out there for T. Martin.
He's definitely hitting him with the "you shall not pass."
Absolutely, yeah.
Only a couple more opportunities. Nice and tidy through Spoon. We did see our race winner, J. Eric May, has crossed the finish line, as has Heisner, Bermudez Garcia, Shane Transu in 4th place. Sean Leitch, Thibodeau.
Oh, onto the grass for Tyler Martin.
And no.
That just allows Shepard to go through.
His 11th place.
Oh, what a heartbreak.
In the final... Shepard wide. Will he...
Shepard does the same.
Side by side, coming to the line. Does he have the drive? Surely the
hard to
V8
tell.
power, yeah, that
Yeah,
V8
the
put it
V8
down and
is
said
just
no
those
thank you.
V8
Wow.
things, yeah.
What a final lap.
Man.
Man, you gotta feel for Martin though. I mean, he was running 11th for ages and just man.
Yeah, that just last couple turns have to go from thinking about the car ahead to thinking about the car behind. Yeah, it's tricky. Really tricky.
That's rough, but again. So congratulations to our race winner, J. Eric May, in that Ferrari with a huge gap. You see it on screen there, 10 seconds to the car behind. That was a dominating performance, kind of from start to finish for him.
Absolutely, yeah. He had a little bit of a battling with Galindo, but that kind of, once Galindo peeled into the pits, he got just a lot of clear air and was just able to put in some really clean laps. So yeah, it ended up being quite the performance from him. And I also want to point out there, Garcia in P3, he's had a lot of good finishes. This is his second or third podium, is it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's amazing consistency from him.
Yeah, amazing consistency. So
definitely got to be your favorite going into the championship battle.
Absolutely.
So okay, so let's see now. Is Mr. J. Eric May? He is in the D5 D6 race chat. Are you able to drag him in?
Yes, I can. Should I just pull him in?
Just grab him. We don't even ask permission around here.
Yeah, we'll just pull him in. Alrighty. Oop. Let's see if I can. I'm terrible with Discord. Alrighty, J.E. May. We just saw quite the performance from you there. It seemed like you had a little bit to deal with that first stint, but then you basically were just able to really put in some clean laps and have quite the dominating performance there. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, first win, happy about it, very, very happy about it, but got to thank God, my few friends keeping an eye on the race, telling me what everybody was doing and helping me to manage the tyres, because I think that was the biggest challenge of the race for sure, is the tyres.
Oh yeah, and that's huge to have spotters there. What, were they watching the stream there?
Yeah, they're watching the stream, picking it up. Yeah, absolutely. And then just helping me out. So no, it was good. I feel bad for Galindo. Obviously, that was at 20 minutes in. I think that fast left-hander in the last sector, he hit the inside apex a bit too hard and then went off into the wall. So I think that kind of ruined the race for 1 and 2 a bit. But yeah, got to be in it to win it.
Gotta be in it to win it. And we take lonely first places over anything else. So
yeah. It was just, honestly, I mean, I made a few mistakes. It's just the tyres, just a nightmare. But we got through it, so happy days. It's good for me, and I see my teammate came 5th as well, so that's an awesome from Sean there.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, for the team championship there. So yeah, definitely you guys are ones to watch for the rest of the season.
Fingers crossed. Just got to try and repeat it now.
Yeah. Very good. So any spotters you wanna thank by name while you're here?
By name, yeah, well, it's my racing team, FNF racing team. So there was Justin Rosenthal, Liam Payne, Jordan, all helping me out going through it all. So yeah, no, much appreciated, boys. Thank you very much for the help.
Very good. Good shout out to the team. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys. Doing great work.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Huge congrats on your first win here.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll send you back.
Okay. So, I mean, while we're here, you think we want to talk to P2? I see Mr. Mike Heisner is in the race chat.
Yeah. Yeah, we can pull him in. I'm not seeing. Oh. I found him.
There he
Alright,
is.
so I'll just.
Kidnap him.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Alrighty, Mike Heisner, you're here on the stream. That was quite a not necessarily the most exciting race for you. I saw a lot of lonely running out there, but you were definitely able to really keep a clean race and bank that P2. How are you feeling about that one?
Feels good, man. I just kept it clean.
Yeah, and that's, you know, it's tricky to do on you know, this track especially, and keep the tires in check. But yeah, you're able to keep it clean and have that yeah, like I said, lonely race, but hey, any P2 is a good P2, right?
Yeah, I just tried to keep the guys behind me, and let them catch up slowly, but never got within 5 seconds, thank God.
Yeah. Well, we were looking at that Delta, and it's like, yeah, definitely did all you needed to do to secure that comfortable P2.
Yep, it was nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Yep.
It was fun. May just drove away. I didn't have that kind of pace.
Yeah. He definitely had some pretty solid pace and some good tire management there, but yeah,
my tires held on for the most part. I was getting a little loose in the back end last 5 minutes of the race.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and in the Porsche as well, you know, that could be something that could get out of hand a lot quicker than, you know, it could sneak up on you a little bit. But
I've got it dialed back a little bit, so
yeah,
so it doesn't bite me in the ass too bad.
Yeah, no, right.
I learned that last season. So
Yeah.
this is my second season in the Porsche. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Figuring it out.
race setups.
Awesome.
You need to finish. You don't necessarily need to finish fast.
Yeah.
Well, finishing fast is nice.
It is. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was nice. But yeah.
Everybody else was struggling about the same pace, so except for May, just 'cause he was picking up about a half second a lap.
Yep, he was on one today. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to mention while you're here?
Just my teammate Roger got me looking good in this new livery, so I got that today. So that's my good luck.
Oh, so
Roger had a rough race.
you're saying you just got it today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, me and you will have to get together then, because without the files, we didn't see it on stream, unfortunately.
I'm an old guy, so I can't do that.
Okay, well, I'll talk to Roger then. I'll get your files. I'll make sure next week we get a nice looking livery for you on stream.
Alrighty, well, hey, huge congrats on the P2 finish.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, no problem.
Take care.
All right, well, another week down, another successful stream. I'm happy we did it. I'm happy you joined me. Any parting thoughts for the people at home?
You know, it was a pretty exciting race. There was a lot of close battles. We have our third different winner. I'm wondering how long we could keep the streak with different winners. But you know, I've really gotten I have my eye on, I guess I should say, there with Alexander Bermudez Garcia there, because he's putting in, that's the third podium so far, and that's definitely some strong, and so yeah, I'm curious to see how the championship will shape up.
Yeah, so looking ahead on the calendar, our next race is next week at Spa-Francorchamps. Hopefully everybody out there, you join us again, and we'll see you next week.